The new press plates are available now, and today I'm going to show you how you can use the Billowing Flowers press plates to create an elegant memory keeping layout. So come join me. Hi there, Natalie with you today with a new episode of Inspired by a Card with Natalie. And today we're going to be using the new Billowing Flower press plates to create a memory keeping layout. And I want to use it to add a touch of elegance to this layout. So the inspiration for today actually comes from Michelle Short. She's part of the design team and she created this card for the release. And I love what it looks like, even though she used a different press plate. So I'm going to clean up my desk and I'm going to actually borrow quite a few ideas from her card. First thing I'm going to use is she used the Ornate Nesting Die Set to create, the panel for her card. I'm actually going to use it to create panels for my 6x8 layer, and it's going to be a double page spread. So I already know that the best way to add elegance to a project is to keep it simple and clean and very classic. So what better way than go with a grid? So I pulled up pictures of my little baby. It's my baby. It's my puppy, and I'm gonna use the Ornate nesting die to actually cut the panels. Two of them are gonna transform into that little look that Michelle added, and two of them are actually gonna transform into frames for my pictures. You're gonna see that I'm using actually the Altenew watercolor paper, the 5x7 loose leaves for this. And then once I've already cut two panels out of the watercolor paper, I'm going to cut two out of white cardstock and then cut my pictures so that I can frame them within the Ornate nesting dies. And that's what I want with something that was nesting so that I can create a frame for my photos. So I'm just going to take my time, get this done. One of the things, whenever you're cutting a picture with your, with your dies, just try to cover the top of your picture. Sometimes the scratches in your plates can scratch your photos. So I usually tend to add a piece of vellum on top of my photo, and that just protects it while I'm die cutting it. So now that I have my pictures ready, I'm going to go ahead and glue them onto those pieces of white cardstock that I added, that I also die cut with the Ornate Nesting Die Set. And then, like I said before, I am actually going to cut two of the same panels from the 5x7 watercolor paper. This is the newest one from Altenew Artistry, because I want to use them for, to complement my grid. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut one of the largest panels from the Ornate Nesting Die because I need to add a title and I want to kind of bring it onto the second part of my layout or my second page so that I can add also my title and my lines of journal there. So one of the things that I love about Michelle's card is that faded watercolor look that she added to her panel. So I'm going to kind of mimic that, and I'm using new fresh dye inks on my Ornate nesting die cuts. So you're going to see that I'm using very cool, I'm going to use a combination, of very cool, easy breezy, and ride the wave. I want to get kind of that tealish look at the top of the panel and then the bluish tone at the bottom. So you're gonna see that I'm gonna use my mini ink blending brushes and I'm just adding a little bit of very cool to the top left corner of my Ornate die cut, and then I'm gonna switch into the bottom and I'm gonna use easy breezy from the bottom. So think about it as if the teal is coming from the top and that bluish tone is coming from the bottom, and then I want to leave an empty space in the middle. Now because I want to deepen the color, I want to bring a third color. I'm going to add a little bit of the ride the wave towards the bottom of both of the edges, kind of try to marry these two sides together. So one of the things you have to keep in mind is the watercolor paper adheres the ink or sucks the ink in a different way. So just be mindful of that. So once I had my panels ready, I'm actually gonna add a little bit of water. I just misted a little bit of water. I want to create kind of that bleach effect. So I just misted some water and then I'm gonna pat it dry. I'm not gonna rub, I'm gonna pat it dry with a piece of actually tissue paper, and then I'm just gonna go and add an extra color. So again, I'm gonna go with very cool at the top and easy breezy at the bottom, just to kind of color those empty spaces. And I did the same with my little tags. Once I have those and I let them dry, I'm actually going to go ahead and use the Billowing Flowers press plate to create those beautiful flower details. And I love that, like, letterpress look on this. So I'm just going to set it in place. One of the things that I found that is that for me, it was easier to actually put the card or the panel the way that I wanted to sit, put the press plate before the ink on top of it, so I make sure that I knew which way it was going, and then kind of hold it to the paper with a little bit of tape. That way when I flip the paper, I knew exactly where it was going to sit and I didn't have to guess or make a mistake. So very simple. I am going to use actually Obsidian black ink. I know there's ink that comes for this, but I've been trying a few different inks, and actually Obsidian black ink works perfect for this. So you're gonna see that I just gonna put it in my little letterpress machine, and I'm gonna put it through my die cutting machine, and I have it ready. And I'm gonna repeat that for the bottom panel. Like I said before, I found that it was easier for me to kind of like put the image that I wanted to, or the panel in this case, put my press plate on top of it before putting the ink, so I knew exactly where it was gonna sit, and then attach it with a little bit of tape. Once I have that, I just flip it and add the ink and put it through my machine. So you're gonna see that it makes it really easy. And like I said, I have been playing with some inks, and I found that Obsidian pigment ink works perfect for this. Especially I'm using watercolor paper, which means that it soaks up the ink a little bit different like regular cardstock, but it works perfectly. So I have my layout ready. So it's just a matter of playing with the position of everything. So I'm going to make sure that I kind of go the opposite of what I have on my large panel. So you're going to see that on the large panel, I have like that greenish tealy tone at the top of it. I want to make sure that all my grid goes at the bottom. So one of the keys here is I have to make sure that my grid, because I'm using a grid design, I have to make it precise, and for that I'm actually going to help myself with a ruler before I attach everything in place. Now I want to keep it very simple because I want to make sure that those press plates actually make the work and do a lot of the work for my layout and keep it very elegant. So I'm going to use two different style of sentiments for my page. I am using this is the classic greetings stamp set to actually stamp the like sentiments onto those panels. And you're gonna see that I actually masked one of the areas of the stamp to actually create, just part of the title. And then for the main title of my layout, I am actually gonna use the Timeless Sentiments die set. I cut the shadow out of a vellum because I wanted just to be translucent on my page, and then I'm gonna cut the delicate kind of words out of Dazzling Diamond 8.5 by 11 glitter cardstock. This is one of the newest things from Altenew, and I love it. I think I need a lot more of that. And I'm gonna keep it super simple. Like I said, I wanted to keep this to like a very neutral color. I wanted something to be very organized, very classic look. So I went with like black stamping. In this case, the letterpress is gonna do a lot of the work. And then just to finish my project, I am gonna add enamel dots. So I went through a lot of the packs from the Altenew collection. I am gonna use a little bit of green Meadows, Glacier Caves, Seashore, and the Essential Black and White, because I want to make sure that wherever I place my enamel dots, it actually matches to the best that I can the colors where I'm placing them. So I need some green for the green area, I need some teal for the teal area, and a little bit more of the kind of Caribbean blue tones for the other places. And also the little black hearts are gonna come in handy just to bring a little bit extra feel to the page. Now for my lines of journal, I'm actually gonna draw lines underneath that big panel on the right, and then I added a little bit of stamping at the bottom, and that's about it. I love how this turned out. I completely love how classic and elegant it looks with just a little bit of effort, and I hope you try it. As always, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me, and thank you so much for joining me today.
Hello there, crafty friend, Lydia here. Just popping in to say that you can get your daily dose of crafting tips, techniques and tutorials just like this by subscribing to the Altenew YouTube channel. All you need to do is click on that little bell up there and you will never miss a video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.